All right, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about this article that a friend of mine actually sent me regarding Nintendo's next-gen console, which everybody's calling Switch 2, but obviously won't be called that. Now, I have some opinions regarding what the Switch 2 may or may not be, about the Switch itself, etc. So we're going to go through this article by Polygon and then sort of get into it. So the title is Nintendo's next-gen console is slowly coming into focus. Switch 2 pegged for second half of 2024, new report says. Nintendo's next-generation console is slowly coming into focus. The Switch successor is slated for release in the second half of 2024, according to a new report from VGC. Citing anonymous development sources, some key partner studios reportedly have already gotten development kits for the device. While details on Nintendo's next-gen hardware are scant, I've never heard anybody actually use that word before, it will reportedly be playable as a portable device just like the Switch, and will support cartridge-based games. The system will reportedly feature an LCD screen, not an OLED screen, which aligns with reporting from Bloomberg that Sharp is manufacturing LCD screens for the new gaming console. The latest report on what is I can never pronounce this word. You guys know what the word is. Known as Switch 2 is in line with Nikkei Asia's reporting from May, which said that the new console is in the works and could be ready next year. VGC editor-in-chief Andy Robinson said in a video discussion supplementing his story that he expects the floodgates are open as more studios get their hands on Nintendo's next-gen dev kits. Nintendo has not formally announced its console and has effectively ruled out releasing any time prior to April 1st, 2024. The company said earlier this year that it wants to bolster Switch sales with the new games and add-on content. Nintendo's current lineup includes new games and DLC for some of its biggest franchises, including all of these things, a new Princess Peach game, and a pair of add-ons for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Most of these games have 2023 release dates, but the Peach game and the remake of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon are slated for 2024. Okay, there's a lot here. What has Nintendo said about this next-gen console? In June, the president addressed the company's next hardware, saying that it hoped to provide a smooth transition from the Switch to a new platform. As for the transition to the Nintendo Switch to the next-generation machine, they said in translator remarks at an investor meeting, we want to do as much as possible in order to make it smooth, blah, 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 blah. Nothing really too crazy. While utilizing the Nintendo account, I wonder what they mean by that. Maybe some of your games will transfer over potentially. Nintendo is in somewhat of an unenviable position, repeating its success with the Switch, which has sold over 125 million units since launching in 2017 with the new platform. The president comments about Nintendo accounts, which digital purchases are tied to, may have hinted at some level of backwards compatibility. I mean, at this point, the Switch should be, the new Switch system should be backwards compatible. Like, okay, Nintendo is not giving us power. All right, the Switch isn't even as powerful as a PS4. The least they could do is make these friggin' consoles backwards compatible because, and we'll get into this, but I don't think that if it's still going to be handheld, it's not going to be that powerful of a console. Let's be real. Anyway, so here it says, with more than 1 billion Switch games sold to date, backwards compatibility for Switch 2 would seem to be crucial, but VGC reports that some third-party publishers have expressed concern that legacy support could negatively affect the sales of next-gen titles. When does Nintendo Switch 2 come out? Unlike with the original Switch, which dropped in March, Nintendo appears to be aiming for a late summer or fall launch. VGC reported that Nintendo hopes to ensure ample stock for the Switch successor to avoid shortages, especially around the crucial shopping season. For some historical context, Nintendo revealed Wii U in June at that year's E3, but didn't release until 16 months later. For the Switch, Nintendo announced it at the system's codename NX in 2015, but didn't show off the console and its capabilities until October. The Switch was ultimately released 5 months later. In other words, Nintendo's official rollout of next-gen news might not happen for months or even close to a year if the system is launching after July 1st. Is a Nintendo Switch 2 backwards compatible? That's still unclear. That's just a big blurb about it. We don't even know. When will the next, and this just says it's impossible to say. So, okay, this is the thing with regards to the Switch, and whether or not you like the Switch, you have to admit this. The Switch holds back every other, like every game that's on the Switch and is also on other platforms the Switch generally holds these games back because these games, when developing, have to keep the Switch in mind in order to actually make their game. So even if the game's coming out on PS5, Xbox Series X, and Switch, it's not as simple as just, oh, we can make a amazing version for the PS5 and Xbox and then, cut everything back when it comes to Switch. That's not what happens. They actually develop these games with the Switch in mind so that they don't go overboard. So I definitely think that Nintendo needs to up their game, especially in terms of power. If it's still going to be a handheld console, I can't see it being that powerful. Let's just say it's as powerful as the PS4, for example. We're still working with last gen technology, essentially, but it's handheld, so everybody's going to say it's amazing. I remember when the Switch first came out, I was very skeptical about it. I was worried that home console games would essentially get held back because of the handheld support, which to some extent is true and others it's not. But I personally always liked the whole idea of having a dedicated handheld system and then a dedicated home console. If I want to play games that are on the go, that's what I had my 3DS for. If I wanted to play home console games, that's what I had my Wii U for. The Wii U failed mostly because there was no support for it and the marketing was terrible, not because the system itself was bad. So I know this makes more money, but I can't say I'm that excited, to be completely honest. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for the Switch 2? What do you think the Switch 2, or Switch, whatever they decide to call it, is going to bring to the table that the Switch already doesn't? Because basically it just seems like it's just going to be an updated version of the Switch with better specs. And if they're not careful with how they market this, they could end up with a Wii U situation, because don't forget, the Wii sold very well. The Wii U sold terribly. So if they just call this like Switch 2 or Switch U or Switch whatever, people might think it's just the Switch, but like a new version of it that's not really that consequential. Like a lot of people thought the Wii U was just a separate version of a Wii, like a Wii Pro type thing. So, a lot of people out here eating glue, so they might not actually understand that that it's a new console. So they have to be very careful with marketing. But anyways, guys, all that being said, I will keep you guys up to date if we get any information. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Peace.